their vacation. So after a short vacation break, we are back to Qatar here. Today's session, the topic of our discussion is Ecstasy of Enlightenment. It's a very interesting topic, which I was planning to give in Tamil. So today presentation, you may have slides of both Tamil and English version, but we will be going through English version of our slides. Before going into this subject, let us have some brief intro about the topic. Then we will go a little deeper. As we see the title of today's subject, Ecstasy. We all know ecstasy is one of the feeling of mind, correct? So everybody has a wonderful treasure called mind. The purpose of the human birth, everybody in this world, there is a purpose, inherent purpose and aim for our birth. That is to develop our consciousness to its fullness and to terminate our birth chain. So by breaking our birth chain, we will be merging one with the universal being. So that is our purpose. On this journey, very interesting journey, our mind plays a major role. So mind has different experience. So there are four feelings that we can say state of mind. They are peacefulness or harmony. The next one is pleasure, then pain. The fourth one is the ecstasy. When we connect all these four, when we connect these states as four gears in a vehicle, let's see, in a vehicle, now we are using a auto gear, but before this invention, we were using manual gear. Even nowadays, there are cars having this facility. So the first gear, we can say, the peacefulness, which enables the person to progress in the right path towards the goal. So we need to be harmony in all our actions with body, mind, soul. The second gear, pleasure, which will suspend the progress for a particular time, and there may be even little diversion. The third gear, that is the pain, which may change the direction of the vehicle, confuse the route, may damage the physical structure and obstruct the progress also. The fourth is the top gear of the vehicle. It is the vehicle which you ride on the free road. The fourth dimension, which is the ecstasy, occurs when the mind gets linked with the secrets of nature. When you are linked with Almighty, the truth, then you are in ecstasy. All the truth seekers, the whole world, every part of the world, there are truth seekers, philosophers evolved in different times. Even the scientists, they supposed to get this pleasure, pain, peace, and ecstasy. But the philosophers, especially the scholars, they are able to retain this ecstasy in the stage of enlightenment. So, having this discussion, now let us go into the today's session. Our master, Vedatri Maharshi, he used to tour all around the world when he was around 80. 70 to 80, we used to sit at home, but he was traveling across the world, spreading Vedatrium as a service. He's a common man philosopher, we all know. He was in the year of 1984. He was in America, the city of California. The place name is Yucca Valley. He was preaching this Kundalini Yoga practice to a group of people, sharing the lecture of realization of God. So he was sharing this experience. At the same night, he was saying, I was in the mode of enlightenment. I was in ecstasy. So the divine voice comes on me, sharing something to write. So he started writing. Normally, our Guru Master does many philosophies, concepts, poems. He wrote more than 2,000 poems, we all know. He has written many lectures, articles, both English and Tamil version. So many of his contribution happens in the stage of enlightenment only. So it is a wonderful poem which I am going to present today. It is only a poem on that day. The poem has 12 verses. I am going to flip each verse as a slide. Another interesting thing is, along with me, the poem is going to be narrated by my daughter. She's Miss Vasudharanya, doing grade 12 this year. Initially, I was planning to give this speech in Tamil. So when my turn comes for English session, so I just asked her whether you can help me with the presentation. Then we made this presentation along with me. Now she's going to narrate the poem verses. Then we are going to discuss one after other. Just for other team who are in Tamil, they can have a simple look which poem it is. The name of poem is Perinbak Kalippu. So we don't want to go in Tamil version. Maybe the next Tamil session, I may be using the same thing. Let us go to the first slide, the first verses of the poem. I ask my daughter to narrate this, the first verse. Thank you.
On the surface of the vast volume of earth, there is the world. I have my being as a human form, small in size, but endowed with a mind that reaches out far and wide. Who indeed can explain the wondrous phenomenon of the countless thousands of thoughts that emerge from that mind?
So in this poem, what Maharshi is saying, the world is a huge ball. We call it as earth. In this huge world, I exist as a small living being. As a man, I have a capability as a phenomena called mind. My physical body may be small, but the thoughts continuously emerging from me after one after other, the number beyond the count. So here, the thoughts, how it generates from the mind, seeing from the vast volume of universe and fraction as a man, how the mind is generating countless thoughts. That was explained here. Next.
By the grace of the Omniscient, my physical form and shape was structured to completion, starting from the origin of a single droplet of the sexual vital fluid. Oh, how do tiny little cells in cooperative endeavor stage endless miracles in the metabolic routine.
In this verse, what the poem is saying, how the physical body is wonderfully structured. It is made of small cells. All cells are being integrated together, work as a different systems. We all know our bodies, physical bodies made of cells. Very systematic coordination of millions of components within body. It's truly a miraculous thing how the body works. When you see the functions of body, different things happening within our body, when you listen your body language, then it will be a truly miraculous thing. Next.
The embryo was a dot, significantly pregnant with the blueprint of the form to grow an awesome grandchild. By the will of the Supreme, who rules without any administrative panoply, and by the continual imprints of my karmas, I arrived on this, our planet Earth.
Now, after the cell development, how I become a embryo, the cell, how it is getting into the embryo, how great is God who created and designed such a truly marvelous body with the imprints of thousands of generations. So we carried our karmas through our imprints. We, because of the Almighty, which is more powerful and His kingdom is limitless. By the graceful law of nature of karma, I built from the invisible chromosome and become formed the child in my mother womb, from which I emerged into this world. The planet Earth, I am here now.
The prowess of the Almighty is limitless for creation, and yet for bringing forth living beings onto the world. He shaped the feminine form and equipped and endowed it. Oh, how many of us realize the glory that is attached to motherhood in the process of the evolution of mankind?
In this verse, Maharshi is explaining the greatness of womanhood. How incredible the wondrous the mother nature. The nature created the same of his duty, love and compassion, handed over her duty in the form of mother. With the limitless power of Almighty, with the grateful blessings, the womanhood is assigned to give birth to all the living beings on the earth. The physical body is fashioned to this purpose. How many of us can reflect this wonder and understand? So the man has to realize the purpose of womanhood in this world. They are given with a very firm purpose for the world to move.
The whole world, of course, knows that they who sought to humiliate womanhood unattained, renowned themselves, collected for a load of sins, and fell into unrelieved misery. The thoughtful, on the other hand, who praised and respected the greatness of woman, live in joy here, even as the Almighty.
So in this verse, what Maharshi is saying, that much proud womanhood, now the world started realizing. Now every part of the world celebrating the day for women, Women's Day. So disrespecting the natural providence by ignoring the tremendous responsibility carried by women in the society, there are some people who humiliate the womanhood. They subject to go curse of nature and get sufferings. But those who respect and praise the womanhood, who live ever living, we can say like Almighty forever, they are living all the time. So respecting womanhood is the right thing to live forever. That's what Maharshi starts saying here.
To maintain the physical body, one needs worldly goods. Truth is essential, likewise, for the soul to go to its goal. And arts and sciences nurture the intellect without doubt. Having realized this, I live in the center serving to enlighten the people of all countries.
So now, how the wonderful human body we saw, how it is created. Now the living things surrounded us. The manifestation of all the miracles within the human body, how awesome it is. So we have 5 senses to enjoy the pleasures all around the world. Not only 5 senses, with the use of our mind, the 6th sense, having moderation and awareness, if we have the consciousness, we can take our mind to the state of wisdom, so we can realize our ourselves. So that is the state possible when we start realizing our value of 6th sense. So here he's talking about the enjoyment and using of 6th sense to realize the wisdom with moderation and on the state of awareness.
So as to elevate the level of thinking to wisdom, and in order to gain control over the senses 5, the 6th sense was endowed to man by the Almighty. And even in the debate as to whether he exists or not, he remains interwoven like bark and weft in cloth.
So in this verse, what he's sharing is the wisdom, the path of wisdom. After the enjoyment using our senses, the 6th sense for the human, how we are using. As we know, the universal being, Almighty, all the living creatures are created, through which we are feeling the freedom and our consciousness are realized. Seeing the picture here, what you see, there is a cloth interwoven. There are 2 threads. One is across and one is in the horizontal. Basically, our master, Maharshi, was a weaver. So he was doing his service. Basically, he started doing his profession as a weaver. He started using this example in this poem. Because I am also from the same background, so this slides takes more interest on this discussion. How the divinity is interwoven, like a warp and weft in a cloth. So it is you, the Almighty, who feels and knows. Almighty kindness and love is great. That's what we are getting on this poem verse.
Having delivered from himself all beings, great and small, and functioning within them is life within their life. And as their feelings and consciousness, he in his compassion has also spread out as varieties of food grains and plants for the survival and enjoyment of the living beings on earth.
So in this phrase, how wonderful the God created after the human development, there are things surrounded by us. So having this enjoyment, one has to go to the path of journey, the purpose of life. So one who asks, who am I? The very sound produced by soul, body, and consciousness. The body is a vehicle. Our soul is the energy source, we can say. This soul is also, we can call it as a life force. So using this life force on the path of our self-realization, we'll use the mind that I and consciousness are the one. So that realization comes when we start questioning, who am I?
To that Almighty, I put out the question, who am I? And the answer reverberated in the joint functions of body, life, and consciousness. The body is the vehicle, and what animates it is life. Pure consciousness is truth, the absolute, and that is what I am. That is what I am.
So in this phrase, again, the self-realization, using the body as a vehicle, the consciousness, truth, and the absolute is realized by seeking the question, who am I? When you get your answer in the path of this spiritual journey, you will be seeing, attaining the real truth, the enlightenment, when you have the God consciousness within you.
Through the process of inner travel study and through meditation intense, in total solitude, I came to realize the absolute, the real self, that pervades the universe in unending effulgence, and that is within me too, as in all objects and appearances.
So now, the inner travel, this is the process Maharshi is giving. With this approach, if I kept I within me, thoughts of Almighty, the greatness of Almighty working in all my faith. What happens? He embraced me in him and I was absorbed in him. So that's what the mix happening with God and self. Now the state is called ecstasy. The same can be seen by everybody when they start realizing, using this research, putting themselves with the divinity, absorbing divinity on them and putting them on Almighty.
Enshrining him within me, I praised and adored him. He then absorbed me, and I am he who sings. You too can realize this, the self-same truth, and wait assure, my friends. It is for that I now sing, encompassing the people of the entire world.
So with this understanding, we have to respect the physical world. For all the commodities, whatever we see, articles, the material comfort given by Almighty, it is for the survival and maintenance of our physical body. But that is not the end of our path. The spiritual journey is a little long. So we have to use our sixth sense the arts and science, whatever with us, we have to develop our knowledge. We have to deal with all of them without any bias, enjoy the pleasures, also start passing towards this journey of spirituality to attain this enlightenment.
May the whole world live happily, maintaining all prosperities. May spiritual knowledge flourish and inform worldly enjoyments. And may the striving for truth motivate the human race, uniting all minds in the noble endeavor. Sing this song with me, friends, and feel this perennial bliss.
So with this, the poem ends with the final message. The whole world has to enjoy happily, live happily with the truth realization. So he wanted to share this experience to feel the bliss of everlasting enlightenment, attaining this ecstasy on him. So this is how Maharshi feel this enlightenment and share this knowledge to the world in a different concepts. Even the scientific community start researching on each and every concept of Maharshi. He is master of many systems, many theories. So he has given lot of lectures. Even the current scientific community start putting research on his articles, the gravity theory. Though science is moving towards those principles in a later stage, he was giving this explanation long back. So with this small conclusion, I conclude my speech on this topic. Thanks for the opportunity given by our master and team for sharing this presentation with you. Thanks, sir. Thank you all.